Let's get this out the way early. Ratting works. In Arc Raiders, players who slow everything down, avoid fights, and only engage when they are almost guaranteed to win often extract more than anyone else. They lose less gear, survive longer, and walk away feeling like they made the correct decisions. So, the real question isn't whether ratting is effective. It clearly is. The real question is whether that effectiveness comes from skill or whether it comes from reducing risk so much that skill stops being tested at all. Because those are two very different things, and confusing them is reshaping how this game is played. A lot of people hear the word rat and immediately get defensive, so let's go ahead and be precise. Ratting isn't simply playing patiently or choosing not to take bad fights. Every good player does that. Ratting is when avoiding risk becomes the default playstyle, not the response. It's when players sit still for long stretches, listening for footsteps instead of actively reading the map. It's when engagements only happen if the enemy is already distracted, weak, or trapped. It's when survival becomes more important than contesting space, learning fights, or even testing your own specific decision making. At that point, you're not adapting to the situation. You're quite literally removing situations entirely. And right now, Arc Raiders quietly rewards that behaviour. To be fair, ratting doesn't happen accidentally, okay? Players who rat successfully usually have a strong audio awareness. They understand map flow, extraction timing, spawn patterns, and when third parties are likely to appear. They have patience, emotional control, and the discipline not to panic or even overcommit. Those there are real skills. Surviving in an extraction shooter is part of the challenge, and ignoring that would just quite honestly be dishonest. A player who blindly chases every sound isn't demonstrating any form of skill either. They are quite literally just gambling. So yes, there is a version of ratting that comes from knowledge and restraint. But this is where the conversation usually just takes a halt, and where it needs to just then go further. Skill only exists when there is pressure, okay? Keyword pressure. Good decision making means choosing between multiple bad options in real time. It means reading an opponent who is actively trying to outplay you. It means managing uncertainty, not eliminating it. Ratting often bypasses all of that. If you never contest space, never take an even fight, and never risk being mechanically or strategically challenged, then you aren't sharpening skill, you're preserving comfort. A skilled player can rat when the situation demands it. A rat-only player struggles the moment the game forces a form of interaction. That distinction matters. Right now, Arc Raiders allows players to build entire playstyles around never being tested, and then rewards them with consistent extraction success. The system doesn't ask, in quotations, can you adapt under pressure? End quotations. It asks, did you survive? That's not mastery, that's literally optimization. Ratting feels intelligent because the feedback loop is immediate. You extract more, you lose less. You then just feel validated upon your decisions. But short-term success isn't the same as long-term growth. Players who rat constantly often hit a ceiling they don't necessarily realize exists. When forced into fights, they hesitate. When pressure spikes, decision making tends to collapse. When opponents don't behave predictably, panic sets in. What looks like control is often just much more of a lack of exposure. Comfort creates the illusion of competence, and Arc Raiders currently does very little to challenge that illusion. When ratting becomes the dominant approach, It doesn't just affect individual players, it reshapes the entire ecosystem. Listen, PvP becomes rarer and more awkward. Aggressive play is labelled as stupid instead of situational. New players tend to then copy what survives, not what improves. The meta narrows, lobbies grow quieter, and creativity tends to then die off. Instead of dynamic tension, you get predictability. Instead of adaptation, you get repetition. That's not a healthy competitive environment. It's a risk-averse one. Alright, here's the final verdict. So is ratting skillful? In moderation, quite honestly, truthfully, yes, it can be. But as a primary identity, no. Ratting as a core playstyle is low-risk optimization that burrows from skill without fully engaging with it. It rewards avoidance over mastery and safety over growth. The best players aren't reckless, but they aren't also hiding neither. They know when to be silent, when to rotate, and when to take control of the lobby. And if Arc Raiders wants a feature that rewards real skill, it has to start valuing decision making under pressure, not just survival at any cost.